My name is Amanda Rolls from the Watson CPA Group. Today I'm going to briefly talk about tax filing deadlines. So the tax filing deadlines for a 1065 or an 1120S are March 15th. Though a 1065 is a partnership tax return, an 1120S is an S-Corp tax return, just so you have that terminology. And the reason that they are due in March rather than April is because they involve K-1s, which will flow through to a personal tax return, just so you have a little bit of background knowledge. Whereas a 1040, your personal tax return, or an 1120, a C-Corp tax return, they are due April 15th. Now those dates, both the March date and the April date, may vary depending on if they fall on a holiday or a weekend. Just know that it's April 15th, March 15th, or the next business day. The document cutoffs for Watson CPA Group are about 3 weeks before then. That just gives us enough time to make sure that we can get through the whole process, ask you for missing information, have our partner and our manager review it, have you review it and feel comfortable before we file the return. We don't want to be pushed up against a deadline and file a return that's not right just to meet that deadline. So if you're not going to meet that deadline, what do? Don't worry, we'll file an extension for you. Extensions need to be filed by the Watson CPA Group about a week before those filing deadlines. That gives us enough time if for some reason it should reject when we file it online, we can always paper file it and make sure that it goes through. An extension is not an extension to pay, unfortunately. So if you are going to owe money to the IRS, you still have to pay that by either March 15th. Some businesses do have a business tax that's due, or April 15th if it's your personal tax return. So we want to make sure that you still make those payments on time because interest starts accruing right away. You may be wondering how much you pay. That's fine. When we go ahead and extend you, Watson CPA Group will go ahead and give you an amount. We'll do a quick summary and give you an amount. You can submit your extension online to us. We do have to have that in writing. That's an industry standard. If we file an extension for you and you didn't want us to, or there's a miscommunication, it could come back on either you or us, and we do not want that. So we need that in writing. Not all states will honor the federal extension. Most states will. There are a few states that are picky and require their own extension. We'll file that for you as well. That's no problem. Then it gives you a new deadline to file your tax returns. These extensions give you an extra 6 months to file, again, not to pay. So if it's a 1065 or an 1120S, again, those partnership or S-Corp tax returns, then the new filing deadline will be September 15th. And for personal tax returns and C-Corps, 1040 and 1120, that new filing deadline will be October 15th. We'll remind you of those due dates and we'll keep notifying you that we need information along the way. Don't feel like you're on your own. Then I just want to briefly talk about our tax preparation process. There is another video on this, and there is a longer podcast that goes into more detail, but just a quick overview. We'll create a client portal for you in our secure system, ShareFile, and we'll send you a checklist of documents that we need. We'll then ask you to upload your documents or fax them or mail them or drop them off. Lots of different ways to get them to us. We'll assemble them into a file which will go to your staff accountant, who is your point of contact. They'll prepare your return, ask you for any information they may be missing, ask you any questions if they're not clear on where a number came through or just want to double check. And then that return will go to our tax managers or our partners for a final review before it's sent out to you, the client. When it's sent out to you, we ask that you do your own review and just make sure that everything looks okay to you. If you have questions or concerns or want to add information, you can always schedule a review with our tax managers and our partners to go over it. We want you to be completely comfortable with your return before we file it. Once you are comfortable, we'll ask for your payment and your written e-file authorization. Again, another requirement where it has to be written. And then we'll go ahead and file it for you. We'll notify you when it's filed. We'll notify you when the IRS and the states have accepted it, and then you're done for another year. Again, my name is Amanda Rolls from the Watson CPA Group, and please tune in for more videos and podcasts.